to fight Usyk, but he can match the pace, doesn't take the breaks. Usyk feeds on the breaks, and we'll have a very detailed game.
It's a matchup for you. I want to challenge myself against the best in the world, and that's Usyk. Usyk has beaten Joshua, Usyk has beaten Tyson, Usyk has beaten Dubois. He's beaten everyone that's put in front of us.
Yeah. These call-outs are so unique. I feel like it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Unfortunately, it will.
I appreciate the call-out.
That I remember he did it with Dylan White and Anthony Joshua last year. And every one of them, they just get better and better. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I will say this now, right? I would rather see Parker versus Usyk than Dubois versus Usyk. I'll say it now.
Really?
I don't think we'll get Parker with Usyk, but
Joseph Parker's trainer Andy Lee didn't just speak at the press conference. He delivered a chilling warning to Oleksandr Usyk that echoed across the boxing world. His words carried no empty bravado, only the weight of conviction. The conviction of a trainer who has watched his fighter transform.
We can offer something that nobody else can. Craft, cleverness, doesn't take breaks, can fight the pace. It's a great challenge, and we just
beyond recognition. Lee promised Parker would not allow Usyk a single moment of comfort. From the opening bell to the final second, the New Zealander intends to suffocate the Ukrainian champion with relentless pressure, no pauses, no lapses, no
of their era. Hamza wants to fight Canelo, Joe wants to fight Usyk. We always want to challenge ourselves as fighters, and we're up for the challenge.
No safe corners, only constant intensity and power. It wasn't a boast, it was a threat. Lee's tone matched his message. Parker has been rebuilt, and this version is a nightmare for Usyk. The declaration wasn't hype, but a statement of fact. The familiar openings Usyk has exploited in other heavyweights no longer exist.
Right now is Joseph Parker. Why? Because he's not a big heavyweight. He's quick, he throws combinations. He has a great trainer with him now, in Andy Lee, and he's more comfortable than I've ever seen him in his whole career. And so I think that is actually a very good fight for both fighters.
Under Lee's guidance, Parker has erased the lapses that once allowed opponents back into fights. If Usyk dares wait for those moments, Lee warned the punishment will be severe. And this isn't just noise from a corner. Boxing legends have begun taking Parker's resurgence seriously.
I think amazing, never have in your life again. I hope to live.
None other than Roy Jones Jr., a man whose opinion commands instant respect, has painted Parker as the most dangerous threat to Usyk's reign. Jones highlighted the speed, the slick combinations, and Lee's sharpening influence. This is not the old Parker who sometimes
now know who holds the belts, who's the #1, and he's going to have to make his mandatories now. His first mandatory is the WBO.
Because when Roy Jones Jr. speaks, the boxing world listens, and this time he wasn't whispering. He was sounding the alarm. This fight is not just another contest, it's a global spectacle. Turkey Usyk captured the atmosphere perfectly. The world is watching, hungry for history. These kinds of fights do not come often. The anticipation, the magnitude, the sense of destiny, it all collides here. And who better to test Usyk's greatness than a Parker who has been rebuilt, sharpened, and re-energized? From a business standpoint, Frank Warren stripped away the hype. This fight isn't a manufactured event, it's an obligation mandated by the WBO. Usyk no longer has the luxury of avoiding Parker. The politics of boxing have moved the pieces into place. Soon enough, Usyk must deal with the surging key.
So whether Usyk's boxed once, he beats them better the second time around. And because he's downloaded the blueprint, he's never boxed.
Johnny Nelson highlighted Usyk's greatest strength, his adaptability, his ability to learn and dismantle opponents, particularly in rematches. But Nelson also pointed out the crucial detail: there is no blueprint for Joseph Parker. Usyk has never shared the ring with him. He has never felt his timing, his new stamina, or his unwavering discipline. That unpredictability, Nelson argued, is Parker's greatest weapon. Usyk thrives on data, on finding patterns and dismantling them. But Parker has stripped away the very flaws Usyk usually exploits. This is not the Parker of old, the fighter who drifted in and out of rounds. This is a new version, relentless, dangerous, and unpredictable. Nelson's words were not mere analysis. They were a warning: you cannot download Parker, because the archives hold no record of this man's current form. Then came Carl Froch, never one to sugarcoat. He admitted Parker had earned his opportunity, but questioned whether people truly believed.
Parker's done everything he needs to do now to warrant a shot at Usyk. But would you even give Joseph Parker a chance at Usyk? It'd be an interesting fight. quite fast hands, high work rate. But let's not forget who Parker's lost to already. I mean, he lost to Dillian Whyte a few years ago, and he's since been beaten a few times by people that really couldn't lace Usyk boots. And I'm not having a go at Joseph Parker, and I do think that if anybody deserves a fight, he does. He deserves the fight, deserves the payday. But is anybody realistically giving Joseph Parker a chance against Oleksandr?
Believe he can win. Froch reminded fans of Parker's past losses, ghosts that still linger in the minds of critics. Yet in the same breath, he acknowledged the truth: this is not the same Parker. Under Andy Lee, he has been rebuilt from the ground up, fitter, sharper, more disciplined. The fighter who once coasted now sustains intensity from first bell to last. Froch's skepticism reflects the wider sentiment that Usyk is untouchable. But that belief, ironically, is what makes Parker so dangerous. He thrives as the underdog, underestimated until the moment his fists connect. Sometimes the most dangerous fighter is the one with nothing to lose, and Parker embodies that spirit now more than ever. Roy Jones Jr. returned to reinforce his point. Usyk remains the favorite, he admitted, but Parker is the hardest possible matchup for him today. Why? Because Parker brings a unique blend.
Joseph Parker is the best fight point right now because Joseph Parker is a guy who has the qualities and the experience that it would take to give Usyk the hardest time. I'm not saying he's going to beat Usyk by no means, but he will give Usyk the hardest time of anybody. And if anybody, I think, if they said Roy.
Of speed, heavyweight power, and relentless combinations, all sharpened by discipline. Usyk has made a career dismantling big, slow heavyweights. Parker is neither. He is quicker on his feet, faster with his hands, and no longer fades late in fights. Jones framed it perfectly. If anyone can drag Usyk into deep waters, into a fight that makes him uncomfortable, it's Parker. That wasn't just respect, it was another warning. Parker is not entering as a tune-up or a payday. He is entering as the most dangerous threat of this heavyweight era. Spencer Oliver echoed that thought, raising the question everyone once answered: who can beat Usyk? Right now, Oliver argued, the only legitimate answer is Joseph Parker, not just because of the WBO mandate, but because Parker's style and resurgence provide exactly the tools needed to trouble the Ukraine.
Who's going to beat him? You know, who is that guy? I think the guy that deserves a shot next, by the way, is Joseph Parker. He's the guy that's been waiting, and I think the WBO have mandated that fight. So unless Oleksandr Usyk vacates the belt, he will have to fight Joseph Parker next. That'll be an interesting fight. That's probably his biggest challenge for him.
Ukrainian champion. Oliver was blunt. The belts cannot be protected forever. Sooner or later, Usyk must face Parker. And that moment is now. This isn't hype. This is the inevitable collision of boxing politics and destiny. Parker is no longer knocking at the door. He has been invited in, gloves laced, ready to shake the heavyweight division to its core. Some voices in boxing circles have gone as far as to suggest Oleksandr Usyk could retire undefeated, underlining the immense respect he commands. Yet tucked inside that praise lies an intriguing twist. The one name whispered as Usyk's possible final opponent is Joseph Parker. That's not coincidence. It's recognition of Parker's resurgence and readiness. Imagine the gravity of that moment, Usyk chasing immortality, facing Parker as the last hurdle before greatness. For Parker, the opportunity could not be greater. Johnny Nelson added another layer to the debate, warning that Usyk might be underestimating Parker. He hinted that the Ukrainian could see the Kiwi as a soft touch.
I don't think anyone can beat him out there right now. Spencer. I don't think anyone will ever beat him. I think he'll retire undefeated. I think he'll fight one more time, and that probably is possibly against
a routine mandatory compared to other heavyweights. But Nelson cautioned that complacency could prove disastrous. History has shown time and again that the overlooked challenger is often the one who rewrites the script. Nelson stressed Parker's transformation under Andy Lee. Gone are the days of drifting through rounds and losing focus. In their place, sharpness, stamina, and a hardened mental edge. If Usyk truly views Parker as an easy night's work, Nelson implied he could be stepping into a nightmare. Parker is hungry, fearless, and fueled by disrespect. And when a fighter feels underestimated, he becomes the most dangerous kind of opponent. Then came Derek Chisora with perhaps the bluntest line of all. In his chaotic way, Chisora declared to beat Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed. As wild as that sounded, there was truth in it. Usyk's rhythm, composure, and technical brilliance make him almost impossible to crack. To disrupt that, a challenger must embrace chaos.
Against Usyk, and as long as Usyk wins against Parker, which I expect him to, that fight will always happen. So I can understand it.
Just finally,
in reality, from Usyk, he might actually look at Joseph Parker and think he's a soft touch. a softer touch, should I say, in regards to all the...
Abandon comfort, walk through fire, and never hesitate. Parker under Lee has begun tapping into that ruthlessness. He applies pressure, throws combinations without fear, and denies opponents space to breathe. Chisora's words underscored what Parker must bring, not recklessness but a controlled madness, a relentless belief that refuses to crumble, even when Usyk looks untouchable. If Parker can channel that edge, suddenly the great Usyk starts to look human. At the heart of it all, one truth stands out. This is not just another mandatory defense, it's a collision of legacies. Usyk, the unbeaten master technician, stands at the brink of eternal greatness. Yet in Parker, he faces a challenger reborn, sharper, fitter, and hungrier than ever before. If Usyk prevails, it will be another feather in an already legendary cap, proof once again that skill and discipline conquer all. But if Parker shocks the world, it will be remembered as one of the greatest upsets in heavyweight history. The night and underestimated.
What I'm saying is this, to beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Or to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple months ago,
I
had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep.
Estimated underdog shattered the aura of invincibility. The real question is not only who has the better skill set, but who wants it more. Who can withstand the pressure under the brightest lights? This fight feels less like a scheduled contest and more like destiny. The boxing world is divided. Some remain loyal to Usyk's brilliance, his aura of invincibility. Others believe in Parker's rebirth, his hunger, and his power to flip the script. Now the choice is